Welcome back to Wizard Supercoach. Hopefully you all had a really good round 5. I wouldn't say mine was really good, but I was happy with it. 2031 for the score. I thought it could have been higher. There was a few letdowns like Bont and Green, but I still climbed up ranks, so up to 3,437 now. I thought that I would, again like last week, that I would probably break even at best, but probably lose some rank given that score, because I saw some big ones getting around. But yeah, have to be stoked with that in the end. The important thing is that my rank has climbed every week this year, and more for myself, I'm sticking to the plan that I set at the start of the year. So it was kind of to play it safe, not make any, radical trades or anything like that, and just really get like consistent scorers across the field, not go for high risk, high reward type stuff. And to be honest, in hindsight, with all these best 18 rounds, it probably wasn't the right strategy, but for whatever reason, it is working. So yeah, hopefully that continues, but I fully expect that it'll fall in a heap at some point, but we'll ride it out. I'll get to the team. Now, I've been really busy with work and stuff, so I didn't get a chance to make any videos probably since a week ago, but I did spend a bit of time on my trades last week and it was doing my head in. So the plan was to get rid of Grundy for English, which was the plan since probably the pre-season, unless Grundy had have turned out to be a keeper, which he didn't. And I wanted to get rid of James Jordan because he's now turned to shit. So Jordan went out for Closey, and this was the big one. I didn't end up going English. I got Marshall instead, and I did this 5 minutes before English's game. So English was in my team, and he'd been there since like the day before. But yeah, I changed it with 5 minutes to go, and I think I switched it back and forth like 5 times. I was convinced that English could... he could put up a big score against Essendon and possibly even get that 150 break even. And to be honest, no one would be surprised if he did. But it was more the cash difference between the two. I think it was about 100k. And I don't think in the grand scheme of things that English is going to put too many more points on Marshall that makes him worth 100k more. So... I mean, that's even if he outscores Marshall now. Marshall's looking really good. And I think Darcy's impacted English. And Marshall doesn't have anyone to impact him. I think that rumour going around about Campbell, it's not really going to eventuate. So, yeah, Marshall 120 and English did what he did, which I think was like a 55 or a 60, something like that. So it was actually rewarded for trying to think ahead for once. Because the other reason I did it was that it gave me 159k to play with this week. So I should be able to comfortably do a 1 up, 1 down and not have to touch any boosts this week. Rather than if I had got English, I would have been pretty stuck for this week and probably would have had to use a boost. So for once, I'm sticking to the plan and trying to look to the future. And somehow it's been rewarded there because Marshall has flogged English this week only. It's probably going to be the opposite next week, but yeah, we'll take it. Anyway, getting to the team, it's still set up how it was for the round. She's a 159. I don't have to say much about him. He's an absolute beast. If you don't have him in your team, get him now. You should have started him though. I've been calling him Dacos 2.0 all year. I think he's better, honestly. Stewart 108, so return to form there, but he's not going to be what we originally thought he would probably be. I think that the age regression has begun. Maybe it's more that others are standing up around him now in the Geelong defence. He doesn't have to be the man all the time. So I think that he'll probably go like 105 average now. He's probably on it now where he's going to be. Still be top 6 though, or top 8. So I'm not worried. I'll be less worried once I get Luke Ryan in because he's just killing me right now. I'm sick of watching that guy. D'Ambrosio 94, so good return to form for him. He's bought himself probably 2 more weeks in the team. I expect that he'll score pretty well against North this week. He's got a break even of, what, 35 or something. What is it? 34. So he should beat that. And then, yeah, I think 2 weeks with him. Zach Williams, 92. So he just keeps increasing his scoring every week. I think the theory was right that he's just going to build match fitness and keep scoring so he can stick around until he falls off a cliff or whatever. Howes, 62, so that was pretty good given that the 2 weeks before that were disgusting. He's probably going to go this week. As I said, that was the plan, but if I can get something better by going someone else, I may do it because he's not playing this week. He's not going to lose money. And yeah, break even at 21. You could probably keep him for another week if you have to after the bye. But yeah, ideally he'll go. He'll become Graham so that Dacos can come back into defence. So Reed was my loophole. Closey absolutely killed it. I'm not even going to talk about him because I think everyone else has been all weekend. No one needs to hear it. So yeah, all I'll say is I went early on him, and normally I wouldn't do that, but you know, there's guaranteed money there, so it's pretty safe. Thank you, Dimmer, giving us some nice options there in an otherwise shit year for defensive rookies. Now, the Bomp was disappointing, especially if you pair that with Green. So 72 and 73 is not ideal at all. I was absolutely convinced that I was dropping ranks big time because of these two. Somehow I didn't. Bontno has been a failed pick so far. So he was the most expensive pick, obviously, at the start of the year. And he is, I think, about the 15th midfielder for average so far. So we thought that we were getting like a guaranteed captain option every week and safety in points. And that was why it was worth paying up for him. And it hasn't happened. He's been bevoed a little bit with spending time at full forward and stuff, but he doesn't look right. Not sure if it's an injury or what, or if he's just losing faith in what's around him because the Dogs are, I don't know. Well, they got Bevo in charge. They're not winning anything anytime soon, but he got towed by Durham, which was pretty unexpected. Now, I'm worried about this week because Steele is far superior to Durham, and that's taken nothing away from Durham. I think he's going to be a star one day. He looks like a really good young player. But if Durham can do that to Bont, what's Steele going to do? Because Steele looks like he's back in his prime. So more positive, Butters 130 did it again. Porter looking really good, unfortunately. And yeah, I guess the good thing is that gives points to Butters. Him and Rosie are killing it. Green, as I said, very disappointing. I honestly don't think that he's going to be what we thought. He'll still be top 8 midfield, I think. But yeah, some of the predictions for his average for this year were pretty outrageous. Now, at that point, there was a lot of guys averaging like around 130 plus. They can't all sustain it. Ablett went 130. I think he's the only one ever that's gone 130 average or more. Green is in a midfield with a few mouths to feed. I think Steele's more likely to stick around there because he's the main man. There's no one to take points. But yeah, Green's still a good pick. He's just had a down week. It's fine. He better bounce back though. Crouch got rubbed out for a week, so I think as usual, a bit inconsistent with the MRO stuff. Butters went past the ball and Crouch got the ball, yet Butters got off and Crouch got rubbed out. I'm not complaining too much because I'd rather lose Crouch for a week than Butters in the team, but that one stings as a Crom supporter. Crouch may have to go, to be honest. Once I work out the other trades, he may have to go with a boost and become an Uber Primo. I don't know, we'll see. I'll hopefully make a trade video a little later in the week. Sharp back down to earth, 54, but he's got the Eagles this week, and what's his break even's pretty low still, -7, so he's still good for a couple of weeks. Now, the McKercher one, he's got a break even of 101 now, I believe, and he's the obvious one to trade out. Now, at the time of recording this, I haven't seen what the severity of his injury is because I've been at work all day. So I'm waiting to see that before I decide what to do with him. If he's not going to play, then you may be able to just hold him for a week. He's not going to lose money. It depends on the state of your team as well. I could honestly also see him coming back, and if he is only out for like 1 game or something, or 2 games, he could come back and totally kickstart his cash gen again. We saw last year, I think Judd McVie did it. Harley Reid's done it. He was looking like he was getting pretty close to the edge there, and he's turned it around. So yeah, McKercher could do it. I'm not saying to hold him by any stretch, but yeah, he could do that. Clark, he has to go, but he's not made enough money, so he's not really worth a trade right now. I'm in no hurry to get rid of him. He can just sit there for a while until I get to a position where I can or want to move him. But again, he could kickstart his cash gen again. It only takes really 1 good game. He gets plenty of opportunities, just, I don't know, he hasn't been taking it, so now he's become sub. It's a bit of a worry. But speaking of subs, Sanders got subbed, obviously. Bevo's an idiot. Bevo needs the sack. I'm sick of saying it every week. Sanders wasn't even playing badly at all. I don't know what's going on there. I'm almost tempted to trade Sanders though, because knowing Bevo, because he's been criticised for subbing him, he's probably going to do it again, just to stick it up everyone. It's the kind of guy he is. I don't really want a part of that. So, yeah, see what happens. It's probably, yeah, it'll either be McKercher or Sanders going this week, I think. And Howes. So Gawn 138 as vice captain. Yeah, that's Gawn every week at the moment. Decided to play it safe again and take his VC, which I did last week. And it cost me last week because Heaney went 160. But this week it's paid off, I think. And then obviously Marshall 120, stoked with that, especially when you put it next to what English dished up. Flanders 116 off the halfback, so it doesn't matter where he is, he seems to score. He got tagged by McGuinness, I think, and yeah, it didn't really seem to bother him at all. Power 98, that's really good. Back to form for him. I've seen a few people wanting to jump off him, or even a couple suggest that he might be a failed pick. Well, even if he stops scoring from here, he's already made like 120k, so he's doing better than some rookies. 112k, so yep, I'd be happy to trade him in if he falls off a cliff and get him to some kind of primo. Although in the forward line it's hard because they're a bit speculative at the moment. 581, so he really saved his score. He was looking pretty low there and then had a big last half of the last quarter. That's what you're going to get from those kind of players. Like, he's an impact player. When things are on the line, he scores. So yeah, an 81 from him is really nice. He can stick around a bit longer. 28 break even, he's fine. I wouldn't be trading him at all. Especially when, as I said, the picks in the forward line are not that obvious. Harley Reid, 108, so there you go. There's a spike game, and what's he into the minus break even now? Minus 18. I'm going to call it. From this point on, the way he looks with him, Yo, and Kelly as the first choice mids, Reid could be a keeper. He could be top 8 forward. I don't see why Powell is more likely than Reid at this point if you watch them side by side. And I know I don't know, people are probably going to laugh at that a little bit, but yeah, I think he can do it, and he's made money now, so yeah, again, if he falls off a cliff, he can go too. It's fine. He's been a good pick. Cadman's been a really good pick too. His break even of 40, so he's still got, I think, this week in the team, and then maybe he'll go next week. So 143k, he's done his job perfectly. I wasn't keen on him in the preseason, but I'm glad that I did pick him, given his easy fixture to start the year. He's done exactly what we wanted, so hats off to Cadman. Darcy, 82, has to be fielded. He's just an animal, honestly. What was Bevo thinking not playing him earlier? and then giving him the low time on ground. Imagine if he got like regular time on ground. He'd be tunning all the time. So yeah, it would hurt for the people that still don't have him, although I don't think there'd be many now. And then Darcy Wilson. So last week, what did he get? He got like a 50 something, and he was underscored last week, I think. So a 58 and a 61 this week. So he's another one that he has reset his cash gen. He's got -3 now. So yeah, I don't think there's any reason why someone like Clark can't do it. Like a break even of 74, he may lose a little bit of money, but he'll go forward. As I said, like McVee last year, he did it. There was others. It happens. Sometimes it bites you on the ass if you get rid of them. And I guess it just depends on the state of your team and what you need. In an ideal world, I'd get rid of Bont right now. But there's other things to do, so I can't do that. And so I'm assuming that for that reason, some people are going to have to hold on to rookies that they don't really want to. But yeah, that's the team. I'm still continuing the plan, or trying to stick to it. As I said, I'll make hopefully a trade video in a few days, maybe even earlier, once I can find out what I want to find out and sort this out. But yeah, I think still long term, it's looking good for cash gen, all that. I'm really happy with it. Let me know in the comments how your round went and what your plans are and stuff. It's definitely really good to discuss plans with others. I feel like ever since I started, participating in forums and things like that, it's just taken like the game to another level. I think if you remain insular, you kind of left with your own ideas, and yeah, it's never good, I think. So yeah, leave a comment, and thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.